Hi, Anne-Marie. Thanks for your time today. From our recent 2025 PwC Global Tax Transparency Study, which we conducted on our top 25 ASX listed companies, it was really pleasing to see that Rio Tinto had one of the highest scores for tax transparency amongst its peers in Australia. With the new public country by country reporting rules coming into play next year, what advice would you give to other multinational companies in respect to actions that they should take now around their systems, processes, and controls that will help drive better efficiency and accurate tax transparency reporting?
Thank you, and I'm happy to be here. We've been on our transparency journey for quite some time now, and I've been there, pretty much right from the beginning. So very happy to share our experience. For me, I kind of look at this through the lens of taking a step back and saying, what do we want our experience and the experience of our stakeholders to be as a consequence of transparency? And that really starts with the question of, why do stakeholders want us to be transparent? And that's because they're wanting an insight into our behaviour and how we actually think about our approach to tax. And so when you look at transparency through that lens, the first question you then need to ask yourself is, okay, well, what is our approach to tax, and what are our behaviours? And of course, behaviours are driven by a mindset. Our behaviours are not random. And so for me, the starting point on a transparency journey is, what's our mindset as a relation to the transparency reporting? What's in it for us? What do we want to get out of the exercise of going through this? And the reason why I say that that's a good place to start is because if all you want to do is to tick a box to say that you've done it, so it's a compliance exercise for you, then that's fine, and that should drive your approach to how you set up your systems and your governance and so forth. In my experience, stakeholders can tell that there's a compliance or tick the box mindset that sits behind transparency reporting, and so they may look for more. But if you do want it to be more, if you do want it to be a positive experience for both you and stakeholders, you really need to start with the mindset of, how does this fit into our belief system? And what do we want our stakeholders to perceive about our belief system through the transparency report that we're going to release? And that will really guide how you set up the framework that actually supports that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think often the biggest challenge that we face in large organizations like yours is, how do we make sure that our stakeholders and everyone, senior management, are aligned? Was that one of the challenges that you might have faced as part of that process and journey?
I think it's that connection to belief system that's the tricky bit, right? I think it's natural to look at these things as, okay, there's a new rule. How are we going to comply with the rule? And it's natural also for management up the line to see it that way as well. And so it can be difficult to get that engagement with management to say, well, we're going to do this. What's in it for us? Like, what do we want to achieve out of this process? And to start having that discussion about how it fits into the belief system of the company. It's a difficult conversation to start. But once you start it actually ends up getting a life of its own. And so I don't need to now preach, for want of a better word, about the benefits of transparency or why we should do it to any of our senior management or our board. In fact, I get pressure from the other way saying, are we actually doing enough? Are we actually satisfying this particular stakeholder group and so forth? But still, are we doing it in an efficient way? And are we doing it with good governance? But very much the mindset of the company has evolved a lot since we first started the journey to where it is now.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Anne-Marie, for your time today and also sharing your experience on your tax transparency journey. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.